pastoring is a calling. It's not something you choose to go to. Forestry and wood technology that I did was something I chose to read. Right? But pastoring is not something you choose. God calls you. And if you don't hear the call, if your phone doesn't ring, you can't pick it.
Okay, tell me, when did God call you and how did you know he called you?
All right, I got born again when I was in secondary school, SS1. And since then I've been serving God. And so at some point during my final year in secondary school, I had an encounter with God. And that encounter made me to know this is what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. And so while I was in FUTA, I started a fellowship. The first year I entered FUTA, knowing that that's what God asked me to do. To God's glory, the fellowship is still there, doing great today.
Okay, let me say this way. There was a time your church was demolished. I know, having a property in Maryland, a property worth over 100 million, and one Sunday morning, 5 a.m. in the morning, we got a call that they were demolishing your church.
Yeah.
How did you manage to survive? Because people would have committed suicide.
Absolutely. It's the thing about having emotional trauma is to be able to know your threshold and know what you can take and what you cannot take. When that thing happened, I asked myself, Lord, can I handle this? That was the first thing that came to my spirit. Can I handle this? And right there and there, God said, look into the future. And that was the word that I held on to. So I say to people, to handle emotional difficulty and trauma, you've got to have a word from God. You've got to have something that you hold on to. I mean, it was traumatic for anybody to say that I didn't feel the pain, for anybody to say that I didn't even cry. I cried in my own moment and in my own privacy. But I kept hearing that word that I heard that same day. God said, look into the future. Look into the future. And you see, I mean, like we usually say, if you have hope, you can cope, with anything. So that kept me going in the midst of all the challenges.
But at that point, was there any time people made jest of you? Did you feel rejected? Did you feel...
Absolutely. There were a lot of rejections. People that thought that, they would help. Of course, nobody laughed at me physically,
yes.
But you could feel the rejection. People that you thought, you will help you. People that you believe that if this person hear this kind of thing, he will be the first person to react and to give and to support. And some of them didn't just come through. But I mean, a man actually promised us. I met with a man and he called me and I told him what happened. And then he said to me, Francis, this is so terrible. Okay, I'm going to give you 12 million. I didn't ask him. He said that himself. That 12 million today is audio.
Audio 12 million.
It's audio 12 million.
Okay, now this is why I want to believe. I believe you were called by God, because a pastor who lost his property as a church building, within few months, you got a new property. And normally when they lose church properties like that, you lose members. But I don't know, how did you manage to get back the new location you have everywhere filled up with big motor, big members?
Well,
how did you manage to do that?
I'll say it's the grace of God, and I'll also say that it's important that a pastor carries his people along in everything. So I think putting the grace of God, we cannot take that for granted. We cannot discount that. And the grace of God is what did everything. But also carrying everybody along is very, very important. I've come to a point where I let the people know this place is not Francis. We are two different entities. I have my life to live and Harvest Place. So I tell the people, you are the Harvest Place. It's not me. Yes, somebody must receive the call. Somebody must lead. But we are all in this together. So I saw the people rose up to the challenge to say, this is our job. This is not just about Pastor Francis, he's our leader. There must be a leader in any organization, in any setting. But the work is everybody's job. So the moment a church realizes and people get to that point that they own the church, they own the work. I think many times pastors, especially growing up, try to
make it a personal
thing. And then if you have an issue, everybody will just say, well, it's your church. You can handle it all alone. But we've gotten to that point where, it's our church. It's our thing. We own it together. If anything happens to this man, it affects me. If anything happens to this church, it will affect me. So people have a stake there already, and so it was easy to.
I read one of your interviews. You said the challenge you have is managing human beings. Trying to cope. There are people. So I want you to explain that.
Well, if you ask any leader today, you would hear that it's easy to manage a machine than to manage human beings. So we are very difficult. We are very complicated, and that's why I salute any pastor. You see, because going to church a lot of times is not a paid. Yes. You don't get paid to come to church.
Yes.
So for a pastor to be able to
bring you to church,
cast the vision ahead of you, you believe in the vision, and you put a stake in it. It means that, number one, God is with the man, and beyond God being with him, because it doesn't just end there. Yeah. God can be with you, and you still get things wrong. It means that the pastor has been able to translate something to the people, and he's been able to help. I mean, he's been able to manage the people God has sent to him. But that process of managing, it's a difficult task.
Like one man told me that, how do you manage to bring human beings? He said, how do you manage to bring your fellow human beings together?
Different people, different concept, different background.
I know it's not ezy. Like having a radio show, trying to bring people. I know.
Even a WhatsApp group.
WhatsApp group. So, Pastor, let's discuss politics.
Yeah.
They say politics is a dirty game. So, as a pastor, how dirty is politics?
That is a big lie that politicians have sold to the world. And they've sold it so that good people will not be involved in politics. I claim to say to everybody listening to me, politics is not dirty. Life itself is dirty.
Okay.
So, Baba the Baba, I'm sure you've heard of stories of children of the same father, the same mother, killing themselves over properties.
Yes.
Is that not what happened in politics?
But wait, okay, that means so in politics. So I heard that there used to be ritual that even to contest for even street chairman, the juju.
Even in boardroom.
Yes.
They do rituals. They do chants.
So during your time, did you do juju?
I was asked to come and do it.
You were asked. First camera.
I was asked. I've written a book called "So You Hate Politics," and all these stories are there, right? I was asked to come and join occultism, to come and do juju. In fact, that was the time I knew that Ijebu Igbo has the most powerful juju.
So who was the one that introduced you to come and do juju?
Different people at different times.
Okay, your sponsors, were they at any point trying to let you
I don't have any sponsor. Nobody can claim today to say I sponsored Francis. No. Okay. I have a lot of friends that supported, but nobody can say I am the sponsor. Jimmy Agbaje gave me money, but Jimmy Agbaje cannot say he is my sponsor.
Did anybody help you to do juju? Because they said that if you did not do juju, that somebody will help you to do it.
Yes, there was a night one woman called me and said, okay, since you don't want to do it, I'm carrying the sacrifice because she wanted me to come and carry those sacrifices they put at the T-junction. So the woman called me in the middle of the night, it was around 1 a.m. and said, okay, Pastor, I'm carrying it for you. You just must win this election. I'm carrying this sacrifice for you. Can you just transfer 2,000 naira now, please? I just need your money to be involved. I picked my phone. I wanted to do the transfer. And then suddenly it occurred to me that even though I'm not the one carrying it, if I send money,
your money has carried it.
That's my money has carried it. My sweat has carried it. I just shut down my phone. I said I wasn't going to send any money. Until date, that woman has stopped talking to me.
Okay, so after you lost the election, was there any point you regretted not sending that woman?
No, not at all. Not at all. At all.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. During that Lagos State House of
Assembly,
Yes. Okay. You're in PDP there.
Yes. I didn't have any problem of joining. Anybody asking me to come and join?
Because you were asked to join APC. Was it APC or AD then? You were supposed to join a party, you left that party. I mean, you left PDP.
Yes.
To go for
ANN. That was where I contested for governorship. But in that place, there was no issue. It's a young party, it's a growing party. So
why did you leave PDP?
Well, I think my mind left PDP the day the election ended.
Why did your mind leave PDP?
Because I should have won that election. In fact, my opponent is late now, the one that died recently, Honorable Tunde Buraimo.
Oh, Tunde Buraimo, okay.
We contested together in 2015. I mean, I've gone to meet him, we've had this discussion. and he knew that I should have won that election.
So you believe it was rigged?
It was not rigged. I do not think it was rigged, but I think PDP did not do
their job
well. The things they ought to do, because when you go for elections, it's not just you.
Yes.
My name is not on the ballot box. What is there is PDP. So it means that there's a part the candidate plays, there's a part the party plays.
Okay.
All right. And the part the party plays is also very huge.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, my party did not play that
The
part.
part.
If they had played that part weeks before the election, Primer was already victory. In fact, they told me, the chairman, and he's still alive today, the chairman of APC in my constituency, said to me personally that we were jittery. The way you were going
Yes.
and the way people were calling your
Because
name.
I thought you won it that
were
period.
Jittery. I gave my all to that election. I spent whooping 35 million for just an ordinary House of Assembly.
Sir, I want to ask, one of my friends said that once you contest for election, that you are made for life. Whether you win or even if you lose the election, that you'll be collecting money from government. So, sir, tell us about that one.
That's not true. If I was in APC now, if I was in a ruling party, maybe they could have, maybe you now lose.
Not compensate
they
you.
can compensate you with a position. Some people that won in some other post can say, oh, you lost, take 1 million, take 500,000. But it doesn't mean that you will even recover every single thing that you spent.
Okay.
But being in an opposition party, nobody sends you.
So did you take loan to contest?
I didn't take loan. Good enough. I do not believe people should take loan to contest.
Okay.
But I sold some properties.
Yeah. So thank you for coming. I really love the fact that you came. I'm sorry for not telling you we are recording, we are doing live. Because you say you listen to radio, you know, wear suits.
Yes. I dress like a pastor, I dress like a politician.
So thank you, sir, for coming. I really appreciate your humility.
Tune in to Merciful Radio, the #1 radio. Tune in to Merciful Radio, the #1 radio. We always on the move, we always on the move, we always on the move, yeah, yeah.